Recording in progress.
I'll get that right eventually. Planning Commission meeting of November 3rd, 2021 will come to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Secretary will call roll, please.
Commissioner Hodge,
Here.
Commissioner Rice,
Here.
Commissioner Gray,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Tolson,
Here.
Chairperson Mann.
Here. May I have a motion for the approval of the agenda, please?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
A motion was made by Commissioner Gray and second by Commissioner Hodge. Unless there's any objections, the agenda stands approved. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes.
Motion made by Commissioner Rice
Second.
and seconded by Vice Chair Tolson. Unless there's any objections, the minutes are approved. Declaration of conflict. The secretary will read the declaration of conflict.
If any member of the Planning Commission may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should so declare at this time.
Are there any declarations of conflict? Hearing none, we move on. Public statements. This is the time allotted for public statements or comments on all items other than public hearing items. Due to the closure of city council chambers to the public in compliance with the provisions of the governor's executive order N-2920, public statements are to be accommodated via Zoom. Did we receive any requests from any individuals who would like to make a public statement?
Chairman Mann, with the new procedures, you just have to log into Zoom via the Zoom link on the agenda. So we will ask if there are any people on Zoom tonight wishing to raise their hand for public comments portions of the meeting.
Okay, bring them on. Are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Hi there. Can you
Hi.
state your name and go ahead with your public comment?
My name is Tracy McKissick, and my public comment is with regards to the recommendation to rezone the property at 310 Royal and potentially add 12 living units there.
We're going to go
Not
ahead.
a good idea for this small neighborhood.
Okay, hang on a minute. We're actually, since that is a item that's on our agenda, we're going to go ahead and put you back into the waiting room. And when we call up that item, we'll then ask you to go ahead and come back online and go ahead and state your public statement or comment at that time.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can go ahead and hang up, but don't go too far away. We'll call you back. Okay, any other persons for items not on the agenda? Okay, correspondence. Is there any correspondence from the Deputy Director, City Planner?
We have no correspondence this evening.
Okay, nothing on consent calendar, no continued business. We're on to new business. And under new business, this is the time and place set for the public hearing on the consideration of TPS 689 ZS 2021-0003 and the project's negative declaration thereof. Are there any ex parte communications to report? Hearing none, May we have an oral report on this matter by staff, please?
Hey, Chairman Mann, Chairman Mann, members of the Planning Commission, our Associate Planner, Narn Gunasekara, is going to present the staff report tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. The applicant, RS Corporation, requests approval of a tentative parcel map to subdivide a residentially zoned parcel into 3 parcels and a zone change from residential low density to residential medium density for a 0.73 acre site located west of Naples Court and approximately 240 feet south of Royal Avenue. The project also includes a negative declaration. The Planning Commission's action today would involve making a recommendation to the City Council, who would then make the final decision on the project. Please note that the resolution included with the staff report has an error in the legal description, a portion of which was inadvertently omitted. This will be corrected shortly. The project site is shown here. It is a flag lot with the flag portion of the lot fronting Royal Avenue and the majority of the lot fronting Naples Court. There are existing detached single-family residences to the north, south, and east, with a church to the west. This is a Google Street View of the site. As can be seen, the site currently takes access from Naples Court, and the lot slopes upward from around 755 feet at Naples Court to around 765 feet at the west end of the lot. This is the tentative parcel map that is proposed, and parcel 1 will be 10,856 square feet, parcel 2, 10,155 square feet, with both parcels fronting Naples Court. Parcel 3 will be 10,837 square feet and will be located to the west of the other 2 parcels. Access will be via a 20-foot driveway that will also be used as a utility easement across the north end of parcel 1. No grading or construction is currently proposed with this parcel map, as there is no planned development entitlement accompanying the application. It is anticipated that custom single-family homes will be built on the individual lots at a later date. As shown in the figure, the proposed parcels are compatible in size with the existing adjacent RM zone parcels, which range from 8,712 square feet to 20,037 square feet. The request also includes a zone change to change the zoning designation from residential low density, RL, to residential medium density, RM. As shown in the exhibits, the subject parcel is surrounded to the north, south, and east by RM zoning. With regard to the zone change, the proposed RM zone is a compatible zoning district with the general plan land use designation for the site, which is medium density. The proposed lots meet the minimum lot size and width requirements of the RM zone. The project density of 4.1 units per acre meets the required density of the zone and general plan designation, which is 3.6 to 5 units per acre. The site is suitable for the proposed type and density of development, including lot configuration and access, as laid out in the staff report findings. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend to the City Council approval of the parcel map, zone change, and the project's negative declaration. This concludes my presentation, and staff are available for questions.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have any questions of staff?
Real quickly.
Please.
Sure. Could you run by me one more time? I think you actually said it during your presentation. The parcel size of parcels 1, 2, and 3.
Sure. So parcel 1 is 10,856 square feet.
And what does that represent in terms of acres?
My conversion's not great. Oh, hold on. That is
A little quarter acre.
It's a little under or over?
I think it's a little
How many square feet is an acre?
43,560.
43?
it's just
Okay, so
under
yeah, so just give me the raw numbers then.
Yeah, 0.23 acres.
Okay.
0.24 acres.
So 10.8, what's the next one?
10,155.
And the last one?
The last one is 10,837.
Okay, great. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Actually, that's only 30,000 square feet. So is that right? About 31,000?
Mhm.
Okay, very good. 32.
The original lot size is 0.73 acres. So that should add up, hopefully.
Any other questions? Okay.
No, that was my same question. Thank you.
My question is, so access to parcel, I'm assuming access to parcel 1 and 2 are via Naples, just from the front access, correct?
Yes.
Correct? Access to parcel 3 is via that 20-foot easement?
Yes, but parcel one's access will most likely be through that easement as well.
Okay, all depends upon where they put the house. Parcel 2, so in the map, it shows parcel 1, parcel 2, and then it shows, I guess, is there a 20-foot easement on the back of parcel 1 and 2 as well?
It's on the north end of parcel one.
Okay, so
So
The blue highlight.
the
the
blue,
blue
highlight.
highlighted. Now go to the west of parcel 1 and parcel 2, where it says zoning residential low. That's outside the dotted lines, or so the dotted lines are actually not parcel 1 and parcel 2. So never mind, I answered my own question. Who has access to then the whole part of the flag lot, the part that enters off of Royal? Is that parcel 3?
That is parcel three. However, one of the conditions of the approval is that they have to relinquish any access rights to Royal Avenue.
Totally, it can't be, okay. Because I apologize, I didn't see that in the thing. Okay, so that answers my question.
I got one quick question.
Please.
Your report said that there was going to be no land grading of the property whatsoever. So they're going to tear down the house that's there existing and build based on that level right there that's going.
Well, there's no
going by.
grading proposed. However, once they're doing the actual construction, they will have to grade it.
They will,
Straight up.
exactly, okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I have one other question.
Sorry, go ahead, Commissioner Gray.
Thank you. It appears as though Naples Court was constructed back in 1979. Is that correct, that all of the homes outside this one that we're looking at were all built in 1979 and about the same square footage of 2137 on the homes?
I'm unsure as to when the houses were built, and I don't have the.
From a,
Yeah, I just have a range in terms of square footage of the houses, which is 1,713 to 2,723.
I'm sorry, what was the range?
The range is 1,713 square feet to 2,723 square feet for the homes on Naples Court.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. We will now open the public testimony portion of the hearing. Is there an applicant for the project?
Yes,
Okay.
we have them on here.
Would the applicant like to present the project? And then-
Yes, thank you very much, Commissioner. I'll share my screen here first.
And you would be Mr. Hunter?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Apparently someone else is sharing.
There we go.
Try now, Dennis.
How are we doing on that?
try to share your screen now. 'Cause. 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 'C
Okay, Mr. Hunter, we can see your screen.
All right. All right, as you know, we're looking for your consideration of tentative parcel map number S689, along with the zone change S 2021-0003. First slide here shows the existing site from Naples Court with the public hearing sign posted. The next slide here is a representation of the city's general plan. And I just want to focus on the fact that the existing general plan designation for the property is medium density. And so the zone change request is to bring zoning into consistency with the general plan designation. Here is a screenshot from the city's zoning maps that indicate the boundaries of the subject property with the zone change request from residential low to residential medium. Here's an aerial view of the site. The property is currently addressed 310 Royal Avenue based on the flag strip that is about 12 feet wide that runs out to Royal Avenue. The property consists of two assessor's parcel numbers. Parcel 40 is the main parcel which the house sits on, and its legal description, which was initially created back in 1963, consists of two parcels. Parcel A being the larger portion of the property, and parcel B being the 12-foot strip out to Royal Avenue. The second assessor's parcel number 50 is identified as parcel A, and it is a triangular piece right here adjacent to Naples Court. And parcel A was created by the subdivision tract map at the time the other 13 lots were recorded. Again, the general plan existing medium density for 3.6 to 5 units per acre. The proposed project represents a density of 4.1 units per acre. As our case planner indicated, the adjacent zoning to the north, south, and east is residential medium, and to the west is the Samaritan Center that has a residential low zoning density. This is a screenshot of the county assessor's map, and as I'll point out, the bulk of the property is assessor's parcel 4, and in the legal description, it's identified as parcel A, and the strip, 12-foot wide strip out to Royal Avenue is parcel B, and then this triangular portion here that's part of the adjacent tract map that my client acquired is referred to as parcel C in the legal description that I'll show you next. So from the original deed that created the property that the house sits on, it's represented by a parcel A and a parcel B. These parcels were created back in 1963. And then parcel C, which is the small triangular strip adjacent to Naples Court, was created under tract map number 2725 that's filed in map book 75, page 72 of maps. Here's a copy of the tract map. And as you can see, here's parcel A, this triangular portion here that is part of the adjacent tract map. This is a copy of the existing conditions from the tentative map package, and it shows the existing topography of the site and the surrounding properties, along with the existing ranch house, that single story that sits on the property currently. Again, here's a Google Earth street view screenshot showing the condition of the existing property. This is Google Street View looking at the 12-foot wide flag strip looking from Royal Avenue that's adjacent to the Samaritan Center. And it's mostly taken up by utilities, so you wouldn't be able to form any type of vehicular access off of here due to the conflict of the adjacent driveway, nor the existing above ground utilities. So we're not concerned with the staff recommendation of prohibiting access from Royal Avenue. Here is the front page of the tentative parcel map. And as the one commissioner pointed out, these short dashed lines represents the proposed building pad areas for the subject parcel 1, parcel 2, and parcel 3. The access to the parcels, our initial plan is that the easement over parcel 1 for the benefit of parcel 3 will be for their sole access, and that parcel 1 would have their own private access via driveway off of Naples Court along their frontage, similarly to parcel 2, which would be consistent with the other 13 lots adjacent on Naples Court. Here are some screenshots from the tentative map that shows the parcel areas, their percentage representation of the entire site, the square footage of the building pad areas, and the parcel statistics with respect to the width and depth of each parcel and the corresponding width to depth ratios. This is a screenshot of the property boundary survey that's already been completed, reviewed by the county surveyor of Ventura County and approved back in 2016. And with that, I'll conclude my presentation and I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Are there any questions of the applicant?
Chairman Mann.
Yes,
It's Mr. Hamilton, correct?
Hunter.
Hunter, I beg your pardon.
Mr. Hunter.
Mr. Hunter.
Thank you. I'm just kind of perplexed. I'm not sure exactly how this fits into the analysis, but the 12-foot wide property that goes from, well, it's part of parcel 3, but it goes from the major portion of parcel 3 northward out to Royal. Does that serve the parcel in any fashion?
Yes, the electrical service comes to the house off of the utility pole easement that falls within that 12-foot strip.
So the above ground telephone poles that we saw, those are actually servicing parcel 3?
Among other properties further south. If you'll keep in mind that when the property was originally developed, it was before the tract homes went in place. So it was one large ranch property. And so when the owner at the time created the larger parcel that would eventually be the tract map and sold it off, he needed to retain utility services out to Royal Avenue where the utilities came from.
I'm just looking at that, and I think it's an oddity and something which, parcel 3 has to maintain, pay taxes on. And if the utilities were underground and possibly the parcel was deeded to the Samaritan Center or something like that, that's just sort of something that rattled through my head. I don't really think it changes our analysis this evening, but I would be thinking that if I was the person who was going to be purchasing parcel 3, I sure would like to get rid of that little pole lot that goes, or portion of the lot that goes down to Royal. All right, thank you.
Any other questions of the applicant? Okay, I guess we can skip the, is there anyone in the chamber wishing to be heard in this matter? Yeah, I'm gonna go there. So do we have members of the public wish to make a public statement on Zoom? Raise your hand. I'm assuming we still have the young lady. Oh, we have 2 people. Okay, go ahead and bring them on one at a time, obviously.
Tracy,
Hello, Tracy McKissick again.
I'm sorry, who do we have again?
My name is Tracy McKissick.
Hi, Tracy. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Okay, they won't probably even take that long.
Okay.
I have a question for Mr. Hunter. Why did you not mention to the commission that SB 9 and 10 have passed and the potential to put 4 houses on each of those pads, changing the landscape of our neighborhood and potentially having apartment buildings across from our single family homes? I'm not sure why you didn't mention that here. You mentioned it in the neighborhood council, which the neighborhood council recommends no. I hope somebody from the planning commission has actually driven down the street and seen what a wonderful neighbor Mr. Salome is. There is raw sewage dumping out on his property. There are 17 cars parked off pavement. It's a horrible mess. So I'm not willing to sit by idly and watch them put 12 other buildings there. Mr. Hunter stated that they are gonna change the, get the commission's approval, and then they are gonna sell. Well, whoever they sell to could potentially have 12 units over there. That is not appropriate for our neighborhood. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you very much for your comments. Next caller.
Rebecca, if you could unmute, please.
Yes, I think I'm on mute. Can you all hear me?
We can. Please limit your comment to 3 minutes and go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay, all right, thank you. I will keep an eye on the clock. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Rebecca, and I am a resident of Simi Valley. I was kind of like looking at the agenda. I wasn't really sure if there was anything that warranted me being here today, but and definitely the splitting of parcels isn't super interesting, but going over and listening to this presentation, I honestly think it's great. I think that as someone who wants to see more housing in Simi Valley, hopefully more affordable housing, I think it's important that we take a look at those opportunities to redesign, our current neighborhoods. Nothing is ever stagnant. Things always change. And although we may like what our current neighborhoods look like now, they're not going to look like that forever. And it's important that we keep in mind that, we do have a housing shortage. Yes, SB 9 has passed. And I think that that's something that Planning Commission was very well aware of. It's a state bill that, has garnered a lot of attention and hopefully will help us all move forward in a more inclusive and a lot more building of housing. So I'm definitely just calling to express, as someone who lives in Simi Valley, who has been a resident for almost like 30 years, that it's important for these changes to happen. I'm definitely in support of the proposal to split the parcels. I think it's a great use of the limited land that we do have that we can build on. And so I think it's great. And I am in support of that, of course. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any other members of the public on Zoom? Okay. Who do we got?
Abigail, if you could unmute, please.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes, Abigail. If you can limit your comments to 3 minutes, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Abigail. I'm a Simi Valley resident, and I'm calling in support of the request to split the lot. As Rebecca had mentioned, I think it's a really good idea. And as a resident, I am looking for housing in Simi Valley, affordable housing as well. But I do think it's a great idea to split the lots. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Are there any comments from staff regarding statements made during the public hearing?
Yeah, Chairman and members of the commission, one of the members of the public did mention that the lots could be potentially be subdivided and or constructed with duplexes under SB 9. And while that is potentially correct, it doesn't mean the current developer is allowed to do that. You cannot subdivide under the same ownership on adjacent homes. So, but if the property was sold 3 individual units, it could potentially qualify under SB 9. There are caveats with ownership requirements and must living on the property, various other requirements. However, every property on that street could also do the same thing. So it's not just restricted to this proposed subdivision. Every house on that block could be subdivided and have the same allowances under SB 9.
Okay. Any other comments from staff? Okay, would the applicant like to respond to any of the comments regarding statements made during the public hearing? Mr. Hunter, are you with us still?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
No further comments at this time, unless the commission has specific questions they'd like a response from me or my client on.
Okay, we'll get to the commissioner's comments in a few minutes. If there's no further questions, we're going to close the public testimony portion of the hearing. Are there any comments or questions from members of the Planning Commission? Commissioner Rice.
Thank you, Chairperson.
I see your name here.
I would like clarification from staff. I thought I heard Ms. McKissick say that the neighborhood council voted against this project, but my packet says they voted for it 5-2. Isn't that correct? Did I misunderstand?
Yeah, it was to deny the request to rezone. They voted in favor of a denial. So they voted 5-2 to deny the project.
Oh, I see. Okay. I read it backwards.
That's a legal interpretation there, Counselor. Thank you. Any of the commissioners have any questions?
Yeah, I have,
Commissioner Gray, please.
so I'm looking at the other lot sizes and the averages, 12,197 square feet approximately, or 0.277 acres each. And do we know how large these potential building size, how big the actual, I understand we're talking about zoning, but is the construction of the homes, is there a range? I understand from a single story to a 2-story is going to make a huge difference, but if it was a single story, do we know what size that house would be?
John?
So yeah, the short answer is the house plans will come under the subsequent house permit application. So there are no minimum or maximum house sizes in terms of a square footage cap for the primary single family house. So it would have to comply with setbacks, height limits, things of those nature, but there's no minimum or maximum.
Sorry, I was just wondering whether or not you had any estimates considering the setbacks and the size of the lots, that if they maximize on a single story house, but that's okay, it's not. Considering the lot sizes are smaller than the average, and I understand some of those lots are corners and they've got very large lot sizes for those reasons, but the average is still 12,000. And these, I believe you mentioned, were all under 11,000, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So the building pads themselves range from 4,830 to 5,926. Conceptual building pads.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay,
Chairman Mann.
please. Sorry. Oh, there you go. You're on my list now. Commissioner Hodge.
Yeah, I want, this is a question to staff. There's a statement on page 24 of the staff report with respect to neighborhood council. And one of the reasons, apparently, that the vote came in the way it did was there was some concern that there could be accessory dwelling units, and here's my question, or 4 apartments on each lot being about 1/3 of an acre in size. I was perplexed by that. Is that true or not true?
So what they're referring to is SB 9, where under SB 9, if you have a single-family property, you could split that, not split it, let's start with the first house. Existing house, you could turn it into a second unit or a duplex, so 2 units. If you want, you could then split your existing house lot into 2 lots, each having 2 homes on it, so that equals 4 total units. And then 4 times 3 lots, in this case, that would be 12. So it's not an apartment complex, so to speak. They could be detached or duplex style of some sort. So theoretically, you could do that on every single family lot that qualifies in the city.
So that would be the highest intensity use scenario, as far as you're aware at this point.
Primarily, from a global standpoint, people who have existing ADUs, there may be some availability to maintain ADUs and still do this, but if there's no ADUs on the property, you're limited to 4 homes based on the original lot.
Got it.
If I could just interject one thing.
Yeah, by all means.
But the owner would have to live in one of those properties for the next 3 years. Is that correct?
That's one of the requirements, and the same developer can't develop adjacent properties.
And some of those efforts under SB 9 could occur under the current project. The current property lot, that place could be turned into a duplex, and there could have multiple ADUs on the property. So we could have some intensity use under SB 9 now, correct?
That's correct. You could do that now. You could actually build 3 houses and 3 ADUs on this lot, or actually 3 JADUs, 3 ADUs in the 3 original homes. So, but again, the proposed lot sizes do comply with zoning, and it's consistent with the general plan.
And with the zoning that's consistent with the general plan, if the parcel is not, if this parcel is not made into 3 individual parcels, it could make it. I'm not saying that this is for or against. It's just hypothetically, it could make it possible for there to be multifamily housing on that lot, based on the size of the lot.
Well, right now, the current zoning is a single-family zone.
Right?
So you're restricted to certain types of uses, so multifamily is not allowed under current zoning.
Even under the HAA and SB 89 and
I think
all
it's
the
the
other
term
things going
multifamily
on.
you're talking about.
I'm sorry?
I think the term multifamily is what's throwing it. You could do a lot split and then put in multiple units, but that doesn't make it multifamily.
I get it. I get that. What I'm saying is I'm trying to figure out if there's, based upon, my understanding of some of the changes that have gone on in Sacramento is imperfect, and I'm trying to understand, imperfect is putting it mildly. I've not spent the hours necessary to dissect what, these things are going to mean. And I'm just trying to understand based upon I'm trying to look at the implications, so that based upon some of the laws that have come down, if this lot is left the way it is, and it's because of its general plan designation, it becomes residential moderate or medium, are we looking at the possibility of multifamily housing?
No, not in the multifamily sense, we're not. The duplex is kind of that missing middle sort of scenario where there are 2 units or 2 attached units or 2 units on a single property. That's still kind of a single family duplex type zoning. Multifamily is usually 3 or more attached units from a city zoning definition.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Other comments or questions? Okay, moving on. May I please have a reading of the resolution?
Chairman Mann, are you going to allow time for discussion?
Oh, sorry, you might as well have discussion now.
Okay.
We don't need to have the resolution read, so let's go ahead and have discussion, sorry.
Okay, since I raised my hand to ask that question, I guess I'll jump in and go
We'll let
first.
you talk first.
Thank you. Yeah, my reaction to this project is a little bit like it was when we were talking about the housing element to the general plan, and there were certain parcels that were being looked at, and the question of whether or not they should be changed. And there were a number of parcels that jumped out where you just looked at it and said, based upon where this lot is, based upon what it's next to, specifically large streets, major thoroughfares, arterials, parks, major transportation hubs, et cetera, it just made sense for the parcels to be a certain designation, which would necessarily mean a higher density zoning designation. This, when you take a look at this on page 3, and you've got this sort of sore thumb that sticks out, and you look at it and you just think to yourself instantly, it's you know, if you just look at it from a distance. And to me, I look at it and I think, well, why isn't this the same zoning as on the north and on the south and on the east of this particular parcel? It makes very little sense to leave it the way it currently is. It makes all the sense in the world to me to have an opportunity to use this parcel in a way that would create 3 parcels that would be entirely consistent with the use it's virtually surrounded by. It's in a sea of land use, and it's the sore thumb of inconsistency. And to make this consistent, to make it appropriate to have its highest and best use, it just makes all the sense to me to look at this and say, well, of course that should be residential medium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Consistent with it as the way it is. And for the caller who made a comment about the current use of that land, well, apparently they have a potential in their future to have much better use of that land and much less problems there. It makes all the sense in the world. You just look at it, and it's one of those things that just calls out to says, well, what do you mean? Why wasn't this done before? So I think that this is correcting something which, not so much correcting a prior mistake, but making a consistent and a reasonable land use designation that is consistent with the applicant's plans.
Thank you. Other discussions from any commissioners?
If I could, Chairperson.
Please.
I agree with Commissioner Hodge, and I just want to point out these lot sizes would be very consistent with the neighborhood, like he said. I mean, they're essentially the same size. And I understand the caller's frustration and the fear that somebody would do this, but every one of those houses, as was pointed out, could do exactly the same thing. And every one of those houses right now could put in an ADU and a JADU. Every one of those houses could be leveled, and they could put in duplexes and split the lot, or just split the lot if they could figure a way to get vehicles to the other part. So this is consistent with the general plan, and I can't see why we wouldn't approve this.
Any other comments?
Yeah, Commissioner Gray here. I am very pleased to hear a lot of the comments tonight from both our attendees, Simi Valley residents, as well as from other commissioners as well, is that it is an odd shaped at this point that all the other lots are 10,000 or 12,000 on average. And it's like the one ranch house that was the existing, and now they have an opportunity to be able to put, instead of one house or one gigantic house, which is what we see in a lot of areas in Southern California, where all of a sudden you've got this McMansion and the neighbors are again, another situation where it doesn't fit the neighborhood. This is actually going the direction of fitting the neighborhood. And as it's been pointed out, that every neighbor could do that exact same thing and split it and have, the same amount of, 3 lots or three homes on a lot, or 12 or 4 lots or 4 homes on a lot. And so I think this just makes sense, is that we are wanting to increase our housing so that we do have people that can be able to purchase homes. And this is a very smart way of doing it, is taking that large lot and making it such that it's available to others. So I like the direction that this is going, and very pleased. So thank you.
Okay. If we have no other comments, discussion, now may I please have a reading of the resolution?
Resolution number SVPC 12-2021. A resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Simi Valley recommending to the City Council approval of Tentative Parcel Map TPS 689 to subdivide a 0.73 acre parcel located at 310 Royal Avenue into 3 parcels and a zone change ZS 2021-0003 to change the zoning designation of the subject site from residential low density to residential medium density and adopt a negative declaration for the subject applications.
Chair will now entertain a motion.
I move to adopt a resolution recommending to the City Council approval of TPS 689 ZS 2021-0003 and the project's negative declaration.
May I have a
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Rice and a second by Commissioner Hodge.
Oh, you beat me to it, Dodge.
Call for the vote, please. Remember to lock in your buttons. Commissioner Gray, you can go ahead and vote orally when we get to that point.
Sure.
Once we have everyone locked in, then we'll go ahead and get
Commissioner Gray,
Yes, yay.
Okay, the motion passes. The appeal periods the appeal periods are 10 calendar days for the tentative parcel map and 14 days for the zone change. With 3 affirmative votes, the item will proceed to the City Council with the Planning Commission's recommendations. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, staff. Thank you, callers, for your input. We're moving on to the next agenda item. Having no other new business, we are at oral communications and report. Staff, does staff have anything to report?
Yes, Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. Last week, the City Council did adopt the housing element, and we have forwarded to the Sacramento State HCD for their review, and we hope to get comments back from them within 60 days if the final draft will suffice or if there be further revisions. In the meantime, if you read the housing element carefully, there's a number of policy items which staff will be bringing back for further code updates and further amendments to satisfy those housing element requirements. So those items will be trickling in throughout the next year. Also, I provide you the tentative Planning Commission agenda for November 17th. We have a couple items that evening. And just a little bit of housekeeping. The commissioners were sent information regarding the required training, which we hope you'll take care of in the next few weeks. That's all I have.
Okay. Do any commissioners?
Sharon,
have any-
may I ask a question of
Please.
Mr. Gibson? When the City Council took a look at the general plan update, I had mentioned when it was before us a thought of changing some of the zoning on Cochran Street near Apricot in order to give Apricot the opportunity for some perhaps changes in the designation that was originally sought, it being a side street, smaller. And I talked to the mayor about it, and he said that he did believe that they addressed it, but he couldn't recall specifically what happened. Do you recall what happened?
No, I don't recall what happened specifically. Basically, the zone changes did move forward. There was discussion about overall reasoning for the zone change locations, particularly a lot of discussion on Lead Street and just some of those areas where does it impact the area enough to trigger concerns? and also trying to meet the arena numbers to achieve those numbers.
So you don't, it's fine. I mean, I probably should have just made a phone call, but you don't remember as we sit here what happened to Apricot Street?
I don't think there was specific discussion on apricot during the public hearing portion of the meeting.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, do any commissioners have anything to report? Mobile Home Rent Mediation Board.
Yes, we have no items tonight.
Tree Advisory Board.
One thing to note that the tree removal request was appealed to the city council, so they'll be taking a look at that.
That was one on Texas Avenue.
Texas Avenue.
Okay.
Chairman Mann?
Yes, please.
Before we adjourn, I'd like to make a personal note. Today is the 95th birthday of my stepfather, Walter Atchison. Yeah, my mother and he watched this planning commission meeting, so this is a shout out to Walter Atchison's 95th birthday. Happy birthday, Walter. I hope you enjoyed the presents I left, and don't party too late.
Well,
Happy birthday.
kudos. Happy birthday, Walter. Okay, nothing else? This concludes the meeting of November 3rd. The next scheduled meeting is November 17th. This meeting is adjourned.